everyone, it's Kevster012 here, and today I wanted to make a video on why consoles are pretty much useless. Not completely useless, I shouldn't say useless, because I know there's a lot of people that own consoles get bash on me and say, oh, you're just a PC elitist, but whatever. The reason I say that completely is because, yes, they still have a use, but I want to make this video to talk about why consoles are kind of just becoming really obsolete. Like, back in the day, put console versus PC, a console was pretty damn good. For many years, that's how you played video games, was on a console. You own an Atari 2600 or NES, and that's how people gamed, for many years. And way back when PCs really started to come out, and you could actually own a PC as your everyday consumer. If you had something with a tiny little monochrome monitor and that allowed you to type a few things on it, you do your work or figure taxes, anything you had to do. Gaming wasn't really seen as a thing on. Wasn't really seen as a thing on PC. It wasn't until, years later you get games like Wolfenstein came out, and like Doom and Diablo, and eventually you get, you had like StarCraft, and actually you had Warcraft a little bit before then. Games eventually started getting better on PC, but for many years, consoles were seen as the way to game, for your average consumer. And if you're an older person and you owned the consoles and PC, you seen the console as your gaming system. We had a pretty decent gaming rig when I was a kid. We had a pretty decent PC, but my dad was like, well, the PC's for work and your consoles are for video games on it. Like, even though it was more than capable, like, we had a few games like Unreal Tournament, Unreal Tournament 99 Hall. That game's actually still good to this day because PC mods and the community keeping the game alive. That's why games like that are still, able to do really well to this day, where, there's not really servers or there's nothing, no mods or whatever in consoles. It's not quite the same, right? But, eventually, and then we also had games, like Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit, and Porsche Unleashed, and Daytona USA, a couple other games, and, and whatnot. But, my dad always, though, still seen that PC wasn't really for gaming, even though, at the time when we did get a PC was the way to game type thing. But eventually, nowadays, like, I used to buy consoles for many years, actually up until PS3, consoles were still really relevant. And PS4 and Xbox One are out now. They're not really as relevant as they used to be. I kind of I'll get my PS4 mostly for exclusives, and some games don't play that well on my PC, so I'll buy it on the console. But one time I bought console games for physical copies. That's why you bought consoles. Don't have to rely on internet or anything. And one time, with cartridges or even disc-based games, you put the game in, you play it. You don't have to worry. Where with PC, PC, you know, required it still required an internet connection for a lot of it, or all the patches and stuff, of course. But nowadays, like with PS4 and Xbox One, it's not much point of going out and getting physical anymore because you still gotta install most of the game and download all the patches anyways, right? So, like at one time, like consoles, had more convenience. Controllers for consoles were better. Like controller support was better years ago. Consoles, you just had your controller, you plugged in, you knew it worked. Where PC, it didn't really have a whole lot. You had to get whatever was available for PC, and a lot of times controllers were kind of crap. But nowadays you can use your PS3 controller, PS4 controller, your Xbox 360 controller, your Xbox One controller. You can use classic NES controllers or buy similar NES style controllers to your PC. There's every single type of controller. So people that try to defend consoles and use that as a reason to defend them they're stupid. Thinking that gamepads or controllers or whatever you want to call them are the reason for going to consoles. Like, there's not really much there's really hard to defend consoles now. Years ago, you used to be able to say, well, to get your gaming experience, a lot of the gaming, your really good gaming experiences were on console. But now you're getting these underpowered pieces of crap. Well, not complete pieces of crap. The PS4 and Xbox One are pretty capable. And now you get the PS4 Pro and the Scorpios coming out, and they're pretty capable. But outside of a few exclusives, you're better off just buy PC. For one, even if you got the PS4 Pro, or if you get a Scorpio, well, guess what? If the game is made, let's say the game has the equivalent of the mid settings on PC or whatever, and the game is made to run at 30 frames per second, you're stuck at that. It doesn't matter how powerful your PS4 Pro or Scorpio are. Guess what? You're stuck at that graphics setting, and you're stuck at those frame rates. With PC, even if you have a lower end PC, the same PC that can run, the same PC that runs games at like mid setting, you can even get a lower end PC that runs like low to mid or mid high, whatever, at 60 frames per second at like not at 1080p, or you might have to turn down the resolution to get really cheap, a really cheap PC. But you have those options. You have the option to set your graphics. And I hate seeing these videos where they're like, well, the benefit of having consoles is because you put a game and play it, you don't have to worry about setting graphics. You don't have to worry about setting your graphics settings on a PC. You have the option. Having options is bad? How is having options bad? Well, it's like I can go to Harvey's and make my hamburger my way that I want it, or go over to McDonald's and get a Big Mac the way that they tell me I have to eat it. You can change things out and stuff on it, but it's not the same as like going to a place where that you can have your burger made exactly how you want it, or like Subway, for example. I'm just using food as an example, but you get what I mean, right? With PC, you have options. Consoles, you don't really have options. With consoles, your options are PS4, Xbox One, well, kind of Wii U. It'll be the Switch whenever that comes out. That's your options. You can't set graphic settings. If the game's built to run 30 frames per second, it's got to run 30 frames per second. You don't have options to ever have better graphics. So it's like, you get the PS4 Pro and then Scorpio, like I was saying, if the game's not made to run at 60 frames per second, 1080p, it's not going to run 1080p, 60 frames per second. It's not going to run 4K at 30 or whatever if the game doesn't get patched. If they don't do patches, it won't work. PC, there's no issue with that. There's no issue because you have the options. You can turn graphics up or down. If you want to play your game at 4K, 30 frames per second on the PC, you can do it. If you'd rather have 60 plus frames per second on 1080 on PC, you can do it. On the console, no option. So, yeah. That's why. And now, at one time I wasn't a big fan of digital. But now we're basically entering the digital age anyways. You're not going to really get much for physical copies anymore. And, Steam and GOG, two of the best platforms to buy PC games on, you get a bunch of good games. You get newer games for as little as $20 or less, depending where you live or whatever Steam sale or GOG sale, whatever the case may be. You can buy newer games pretty damn cheap. Sometimes, PSN has sales, but then again, sometimes you're even better. So many times, if something like PSN has sales, you still, Steam probably already has a sale going that's either the same price or undercutting them. So it's you have that, and then you've got older games. There's always Steam sales, or GOG always has a bunch of games that get $5. I remember when I first bought The Witcher. I got The Witcher 1, 2, and 3. I think it was $60 for all three. And Witcher 1 and 2, that was the definitive versions with all the DLC included. And 3, of course, didn't have any DLC yet. It was still new. I got all of them for $60. And if I had bought The Witcher 3, just The Witcher 3 alone, what cost me $70 or $80? I live in Canada, so I'm going by Canadian dollars. So I know it's 60 for a new game if you live somewhere United States, but I'm using that as an example. And it's that's another thing. You have more options. PS4 and Xbox, it's either PlayStation Network, or you go to your game store that might have it, and that's the price you're getting. Unless they, Best Buy decides to have the sale, Boxing Day, that's really good. But, when you get, different companies like Steam and GOG, or Uplay, or, I'm trying to think, Origin, or anything, and then you have your you have the sites like Humble Bundle, or other sites that you get game codes really cheap. I don't highly recommend the offshoot sites that that sell Steam codes for really cheap, because sometimes you can get ripped off and someone can screw you over. You're not 100% protected as if you were to actually buy just spend the money and go to Steam or whatever. But you have the options. They're there. And there's so many more options, and it kind of saddens me to see the way consoles are going, but at the same time it's I guess we're hitting the PC era. And it's not like the PC era didn't exist, but how many people are jumping ship to PCs now? Not only have PCs become a lot more affordable to build, they've become easier to build, games look better, can look and run better depending on what you get. You can get a low-end piece of crap that plays games worse than the PS4, but if you're doing that, well, why the hell you've been building a PC? Why didn't you just get a PS4 for that matter? But let's say you could build a computer, same price as the PS4 Pro. Let's say give or take $400. I don't know. I think about like USD Canadian. I think it might be a little bit more. I'm not 100% sure of the pricing on that. But you build one PC, you could build something as good or possibly better. I would definitely say that the possibility, the better is actually definitely there because you have the more options anyways. Even with the same equivalent hardware as a PS4 Pro, you have more options. Not even just in gaming, streaming or watching videos, anything. Porn? No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, you can do that on a console as well. But you know what I mean. The options, there's just more, and honestly, I would recommend spending more. I apologize, as I'm thinking in Canadian dollar terms. Like, I would say I'd say in Canadian dollars, give or take $800, you can get a really good PC for that. Obviously, you could probably spend a little bit less depending if you buy parts used or wherever you go to. I know in the United States, $800 gets you a really good PC for that matter. But, in Canadian dollar terms, even spending that much, well, you're still better to spend more. You spend $800, you're going to have something that's good for 5+ years. And here's another thing these console fanboys like to say, and I know PC is fanboys too. Not gonna say that they don't, because there's a lot of PC dickheads out there, but console fanboys saying, "Oh, with PC you gotta upgrade, you gotta constantly be upgrading." What? No, I have the option to upgrade. With my PS4, I have this box and that's what I got, and that's what I have until they decide to release a new one that's probably gonna be underpowered, compared to the current PC hardware. I could build a good, not even good, amazing PC, and have top-end hardware, and that could probably do me for at least, let's say 5-10 years, and even then, I might not even have to upgrade. I might have to turn the graphics settings down in my games, but I'm not going to be like, damn, this game doesn't play very well. It's not like with PS4 or Xbox One where it's like, damn it, this game is stuck at 30 frames per second. It looks like crap. Well, I'm not saying it actually looks, it might not exactly look like crap, but you know what I mean. You're stuck at 30 frames. It's playing the way that it's built to play in console, you're playing it that way. PC, you have options, and that's what I want to say. And I know I've been rambling on quite a while in this video, but it's the truth, is it not? It's changed. Gaming has changed so much. If you look at the numbers of how many people have actually started building PCs and stopped buying consoles, yet a PS4 is flying off the shelves, but after the PS4, what's going to happen? Where are consoles going? Like I said, it's outside of a few exclusives. I have a couple exclusives that I like. Multi-platform games for sure. PC's better than PC has its own exclusives. I do prefer console exclusives, but but even then, just purely multi-platform games alone, you have a lot better experience. And like I said, like how I was talking about Unreal Tournament 99, games last long. You get a game that came out back in 99, That's how many years ago? We're in freaking 2017. A game that came out in 1999 is still running and still, still has a crap ton of people on there playing. Think about it. Just think about that. That's another thing. Is games tend to run longer. You even have games like Blizzard. It's still supporting games like Diablo 2. They patched it. They released a new patch last year, because the game is still doing that well. Whereas, you get games like, as much as I love, let's say my PS2, well, all servers are shut down. You're not playing any of those games. Where PC can go forever, as long as people are willing to put in the time and effort to keep those games, running online. You can do it, But, anyways, before I close this video, just, consoles are gonna die, and they are, they're pretty much, useless. They're pretty much obsolete, nowadays. I can see in the next few years, what are consoles gonna be? Is PlayStation Network and Xbox Live gonna just become a platform, another added platform to go along with Steam and GOG or whatever else you have on your PC? They're just gonna be a platform where, okay, you go to Xbox Live or whatever to buy your Xbox games for your PC, and you go to PSN for your PlayStation games. Think about it. Come on, even Sony has made what was PlayStation Now, I think. I'm pretty sure it's PlayStation Now. You play a lot of PlayStation games on your PC now. They even released, the little wireless dongle for your PS4 controllers. You can play a lot of your games on your PC now. It's and then eventually we gotta move over PS4 games on PlayStation Now, have them available to play. That's just kind of how it's gone. PC gaming is the future. And as much as years ago, I've never seen me saying this, because I seen as consoles, I thought consoles would always be the way to play, but, the way things are going now, PC gaming is not only here to stay, it's starting to really dominate the market, Someday we're gonna see, Sony and Microsoft aren't gonna be much of a thing anymore, Where are we gonna be? Where are we gonna be within the next 5 years? Because just the way that things are going now in console, I'm pretty much moved purely to PC. I only turn my PS4 on, or my Wii U, or my older consoles, whatever. Sometimes if I want to play certain games that aren't on my PC, but outside of that, maybe PC's become my main platform. So yeah. Anyways, this has been Kevin Star 02. I know I've been rambling here. Well into 24 minutes now. If you like the video, feel free to give a like. Dislike the video if you don't agree with me. I'm sure, unless you're a console fanboy that hates all PC gamers, that's probably going to be your own reason to dislike this video, or you're disliking it because it was way too long and rambled too much. I don't know. And also feel free to subscribe if you like. Also, I do have a Twitch channel that you can check out, do some gameplay on there. I've actually been playing through The Witcher 2. Working on, eventually want to play through that and get to The Witcher 3 and play that as well. And yeah. Anyways, have a great day, everyone.